Good afternoon, Backyard Garden Pro here in the kitchen. Yes, I enjoy gardening and planting everything, but I also enjoy cooking what I grow. Today I'm going to show you how to cook a little special dish I came up with a few years ago. I call it my Cabbage Power Blend. Uses some cabbage, and this is a cabbage here that's much smaller than most of the ones I grow, but it's getting close to December here. Use some of my peppers that I got out of my garden here. I'm going to show you all the ingredients here. But what I want to do here is just show you how to make this, all the ingredients, and how to cook it, and how to enjoy a great Cabbage Power Blend. So y'all stay tuned. Okay, let's get going here. I'm going to go through the ingredients and item by item here. And this dish here takes about probably an hour to cook or prepare if you're starting from ground zero, which I am right here. So need your good cutting board. This is a board I got for Christmas last year. Your favorite knife, which this is mine. It's a nice heavy-duty serrated blade there. Cabbage, I would really rather have one a little larger, but I'm going to use what I've got there. I don't have any tomatoes right now, so I'm actually having to use purchased tomatoes. These are crushed tomatoes, 1 can of crushed tomatoes. I'm going to be using 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes right here. I've got 2 onions. I'm going to use these 2 onions. I've got this is 48 ounces of ground turkey. You can use ground beef if you like, but this meal here, once it's cooked, it's got cabbage and turkey and vegetables. It's very good for protein and fiber, and it's very low calorie. So if you're like me and love to eat, you can eat, heck, you can eat a huge bowl of this and really don't have any calories to amount to anything. But again, that's my meat there. As far as the peppers, I've got a few bell peppers here out of the garden I'm going to be using. Got a couple poblanos here, small, and some sweet peppers. Going to be adding those to it. And just a few more here. A few more peppers. And then you can, 1 can of tomato paste. Got that there. And as far as the spices and seasoning, you can kind of come up with your own. This is my own blend that suits my taste. Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning. This is one of my favorites. This is good on everything. And next spring, I'll show you how to make a dish with cucumbers. And this right here, which is just awesome. I also have rosemary. Again, that's one of my favorites here. You may, if you like rosemary, add a little bit to it. If not, don't use it. But I really enjoy that. This is some crushed red jalapenos from last year. I smoked these and then I dried them in a food dehydrator and then put them through a blender. So this really basically homegrown chipotle there. This is some more. This is my pepper blend. Just about to use this container here, but this is the same thing. Peppers I grew. This is a mixture of bell peppers, hot peppers, habaneros, jalapenos, a little bit of everything here. Smoked for about 7 hours. Also dried and then put in a blender to powderize. And then this is a spicy all-purpose seasoning, kind of like a season-all that you can add. So that's kind of the ingredients, and then you need a big pan. I wish I had a larger pan actually, but when I cook this, I can eat on this dish here pretty much all week. So I'll have this pan here really full. So let's get going here. That's the ingredients, and we will start breaking everything down, okay? Okay, the first thing we're going to do here is get the ground turkey, get it on the skillet here. So I've cut it here and got it opened up. I'm going to pour this baby in here. Make sure you don't, little absorb it in there, make sure you don't put it in there. Here's a piece there you got to get out. So got that, and then I add just a little bit of olive oil here, which I didn't mention before. I just put a little bit of this on top of it. And I enjoy Tony's also, and I put a little bit of Tony's on here while it is browning, just to kind of get it going. Just sprinkle that. Then I just take my knife here and kind of just break it up. Put my knife down here. I got my stove right behind me here, so I can get that on the stove and get this baby cooking, and we'll start on the vegetables and everything else. Okay, let's get started cutting up the vegetables here. I'm going to start with the onions. I like my onions in large pieces. Some people like to take these things and crush them pretty small. But you can do that ever how you want to. What I'm doing here is just cutting the ends off to start with. And I've got a bowl over here. Nice little bowl. I keep all of the odds and ends. I've got a bin outside that I put all my vegetables and trimmings in and things, and eventually try to turn it into compost. It's kind of tough, but I do it, and add this to the garden in the spring. Again, just take all the trimmings off the onion, the outer layers, and the peeling. Kind of clean everything up. You got those two, and again, you can put as little or as much onion as you like. I really enjoy onions, so I'm putting 2 whole onions in here. You can also add garlic if you like. I don't have any fresh garlic on me right now, but I have done this many times by adding garlic. So, got the onion peel there. And you really just slice these up as to fit your taste. So normally what I do is cut these into like thirds, and then just slice them like this right here, just break them up. Actually, I like pretty big pieces so that when it cooks, you've still got some consistency and some of the size of the onion still left. And just a comment on this cutting board, I got this for Christmas last year, and I really enjoy this because I cook with tomatoes a lot. And this has a little trench around here, so that when you're cutting up things with juice, the trench there will keep your juice on your cutting board. So I'm going to get one more bowl here. I'm going to put all my onions in here, and I'm going to add when my ground beef or my ground turkey gets ready. So I'm just going to put this to the side here and start working on the tomatoes. I'm sorry, the peppers next. So let's just start with this bell pepper, and again, I just take it and cut the top off like this. Again, keep all of these, and so I can add them to my compost pile. I just pull the insides out. You can slice these however you want. I just kind of slice them up like this, just to kind of taste whatever you like, large or small. I'm going to take these and just slice them a little bit more here. Again, I'm the type of guy, I like to have texture in my food, so I lay these pieces fairly large. So here's, look at that, how pretty that is. Yum. So I've got that added to my bowl here. And I'll cut up one of these other peppers here for you. This is just one of the little sweet peppers. I've taken and cut the tip off, cut it in half, and just peel the inside out with the seed. Although these aren't really that hot. You just take that baby and slice them up. Again, I love this knife. It's a big chef type knife here, and it's nice and sharp and does just what I need here. So look at that. Isn't that nice and pretty? So we're going to add that. So I'm going to finish cutting up all these peppers here, and I'll show you in just a second what it all looks like, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to show you the next 10 minutes while I cut all these peppers up. Okay, we're back. Got all the peppers here, the tops cut off, the stems, and got them sliced open here, and all the insides taken out. So what I'm going to do here is just cut these things up so I can add them to my bowl here, and then eventually here shortly add them to the ground beef, or the ground turkey. I keep calling it ground beef. Just slice these things up. Again, as you can tell from my pages, I really enjoy growing peppers. I grow tons of peppers. I like growing peppers, I like eating peppers, like cooking peppers, like smoking peppers, like giving peppers away. I give far more away than I grow. But so again, I don't have a recipe that I use here. This is just to my taste. I've done this, I guess the last 3 years or so. I make this thing several times a year, just when the cabbage and everything, the peppers are really in season. What's really good to make this thing in the summertime, when you're using fresh tomatoes out of your garden. And that is really, really good. So again, just slicing all these up so we can add these here shortly. So just keep on slicing. Again, slice to size, however you like. Once I got them broken up, I just kind of take them here and just run them through and just slice them up into smaller pieces. Especially some of these bell peppers, some of these larger chunks here. I just slice these up into little smaller pieces. But look at that. Really nice and colorful. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to take all of this and add to my bowl. Look at this. I'm going to need a larger bowl, it looks like. Look at these peppers. Wow. And yes, I enjoy color. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Okay, let's work on the cabbage here in just a second. All right, let's get this cabbage going here. Again, usually use a little larger cabbage, but many times my cabbage is so big I can only use like a half or 3/4 for this dish. But start out with, take your outside leaves off so you got some nice good firm leaves. Take the bottom of the cabbage here, just trim it off really good. And again, having a real sharp knife helps out here. And what I do, I take it, set it like this, and just trim that baby right in half like that. And if you look at the cabbage, there's this area right here, which is the core. I take my knife and kind of trim that out because that's a little bit hard and takes longer to cook. A lot of times you want to cook all the way through. So I take these cores and cut these out. Like this. Then I just throw those into my dish here. So see, I'll be adding this to my garden here next year once it turns into compost. So again, it's up to you how you want to do these, but I take them and just slice them up. And again, the secret to all this is having your best favorite knife. And again, that's a real, look at that baby, that's nice. See that serrated edge does a good job. So trim that like that, then I turn him 90 degrees. I'm going to trim it again, just like that. I'm going to do this other half the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then turn him and just cut him out into squares. And again, you want a knife that has some length to it so you can cut all the way across your cabbage. So now my cabbage is cut up. We got my cabbage cut up, have all my peppers ready to go here. I've got, unfortunately, store-bought tomatoes this time and some tomato paste, but that's okay for this time of the year, so we'll get this going here. So let's come over here and check on the ground turkey and see how it's coming. Okay, the ground turkey is going here. It's getting some color to it. Just so you know, here I use a gas stove. I never used a gas stove until we moved into this house about 20 years ago, but I really prefer gas over electric just because of the way you can control the heat. So my ground turkey here is just about browned all the way. And what I'm going to do here is start adding a little bit of spices to start with. And again, this is my homemade chipotle here. Chipotle, ever how you say that. Just going to sprinkle some in, and this is pure jalapeno, so I don't want to add too much because it will get too hot. But really good stuff there. Look at here, this is brand new rosemary. It hasn't even been opened. Look at this. So let's get that open. Sprinkle some. Look at that rosemary, nice. So let's just kind of sprinkle that in with it. Ooh, maybe a little too much, but that's good. I love rosemary. I like to put the seasoning and everything on the meat. And some Cavender's here. I'm going to add some of the Cavender's Greek seasoning. Sprinkle that on. Add a little bit of Tony's Satcheries. A little bit of my peppers, crushed smoked peppers from this year. Add that in there. And if you look here, you see all the seasoning on the top. I'm going to take and stir that in really well. It's starting to smell really good. Okay, my turkey is browned pretty well here, so now I'm going to get the tomatoes and the vegetables I cut up here, the peppers and onions, and add those here in just 1 minute. Okay, we're back. The first thing I'm going to do is add these peppers and onions to my browned ground and browned turkey. So got all that in there. I'm going to keep my cabbage for last. So I'm going to get this all mixed in. Doesn't that look wonderful there? Get it all stirred up. Get some of that ground beef from the bottom on the top here. And look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? That would be a great dish just right there, even without the tomatoes and cabbage. Okay, let's see how things are going here. Look at this. We got it cooking here. So let's get this ground. This is ground turkey, onions, bell peppers, sweet peppers, poblano peppers, all stirred up here, starting to look really, really good. Look at that. What we're going to do now is add some tomatoes. I've got, again, a can of the crushed tomatoes. I'm going to add this can of tomatoes right on top of it. Again, fresh tomatoes are much better, but all my fresh tomatoes are gone since we've got the frost here. Just added 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes. So now we're going to get the heat back up here on high, and going to stir all this up. Got to be real careful, because even though this skillet is a large skillet, it very quickly starts to fill when you add all this stuff. So we're going to kind of get the material on the bottom, bring it to the top. Look at that. Looking good. All right, we're back. Not sure if you can hear this or not, but if you look right here, you can see it's boiling, so it's cooking really well here. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to add my cabbage here in just 1 second. I do have a small container of tomato paste that I like to add in here. And again, this is just based on your taste. You can add one of these small cans. If you like a little bit sweeter, you can add a larger can, or you can just leave it out totally. But I like a little bit of tomato paste. Always hard to get the last little bit of this tomato paste out of here. All right, so now let's add some of our cabbage. I'm just going to grab it up here and just sprinkle it across the top. Kind of press it in a little bit. Get another handful. Do the same thing. Just kind of press it in to start with. I'm picking up the small pieces here left on the cutting board. So like I said, you start off with a very large skillet, but when it's all said and done, you're out of room. So what I'm going to do now is stir this cabbage in, mix it in, which is takes some time here. You just have to kind of work it in slowly. Still got my heat on just about high, about medium high. But what I'm going to do here when I get this stirred in, I'm going to put a top on this skillet, turn it down to about medium, just so it's still really hot and got a little bit of boil going on. Let it cook for probably 30 minutes or so. Again, cooking time all depends on how much cabbage and how big of a dish you've got. I cook this to last me all week. So this is probably a couple gallons of food here when it's all said and done. So again, you have to be very careful. Really need a larger skillet, so I don't have to be as careful, and I don't want any of this to go over the sides and get all on my stove here. So just adding it in, starting to look really good. Get these guys right here mixed in. What I'll do, like I say, I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes, but about every 5 minutes or so I'll come over here and just stir it, because the cabbage and everything on the bottom is getting more heat. It's going to cook a little bit faster, so you want to make sure you do come in and stir this from time to time. So that's a good start here. We'll just let that set. Going to put a top on this like that. I'm going to turn the heat down to about medium and let this baby cook for about, like I say, 30 minutes or so. It'll at least take 30 minutes for it to get done. Could be 30, 45 minutes, but we'll come back in about 5 minutes and stir it some, okay? All right, we're back. We've had our Cabbage Power Blend here cooking for about probably 45 minutes or so. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. Let's look at that. Looks like everything is cooked down really well. You can still see the peppers and everything here. Look at that. That is awesome. Again, this is cabbage, 2 onions, bell peppers, poblano peppers, and some sweet peppers and some spices. This is enough food here for me to eat all week, basically. Again, it's very low calorie because there's nothing in here but vegetables and some turkey meat. Very tasty. Again, you can no particular recipe here, just seasoning as you like. You can use my recipe that I showed here on this video if you like. Anyway, just wanted to share this, a new and different way to consume some of your vegetables, including cabbage and peppers that you may grow and onions. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.